This is Amélie. With the discovery of a simple childhood treasure, she begins a quest to fix other people's lives. And perhaps her own as well.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Real Talk. We are going to be discussing Amélie. Well, myself and my co-host, Mr. Bathtime. Good evening, Bathtime. Good to see you.
Bonjour.
Bonjour. Comment ça va?
Oui, ça va. Ça va bien.
Bien.
Oh, yeah. So we just played the trailer at the beginning there. That's actually a little bit of a test to see if we're allowed to play trailers, because if we get copyright struck, we can just take it off from the beginning. Easy. But yeah, like I'm all right now, Tyrone. I've had norovirus because I went to watch The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King, and everyone else in the cinema is a dirty tramp, and they infected me with the most unsexy virus you can possibly have. It's horrific what it does to you. But I've lost a lot of weight and I look fucking amazing.
Do you know specifically how much you've lost, or did you not check?
Yeah, I've lost 3.5 kilograms.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Yeah, no, I think that's pretty good. Like, you know, who needs a Zempic? Just get the norovirus. Yeah, I'm all right. What have you been up to?
Well, it's funny you mentioned Ozempic. I know so many people who've been using that and they've lost a ton of weight in such a short space of time. But it's cheating.
What does it, like, do you know how it affects you? I'm quite intrigued by it.
It basically, it's mental. It basically, like, suppresses your appetite. So you see, like, normally if you go out and have a meal and you'll eat your food and stuff and you're really enjoying it, you'll only be able to kind of manage half a plate. It's like that.
So it's not even suppressing your appetite. It's just you just can't physically eat, like you're too full or something.
You can, but you just don't eat as much as you normally would.
Wow.
It's crazy.
I'm all for it, to be honest. I think that the world should be slimmer.
Yeah, well, they reckon eventually it's going to be so cheap they'll put it inside a tablet. So, because a lot of people are just injecting it into themselves now.
I could never. Actually, I could. There's a lot of things that I could do for beauty and vanity, but injecting myself isn't something that I like the sound of.
But I don't like what I've heard, because apparently one of my friends was saying, look into the research, and I did. And apparently Robbie Williams thinks he's losing his vision because of it, because he's been taking it. So I wouldn't risk it. But I don't know how true that is.
I mean, I don't want to Robbie Williams shame anyone, but I mean, he's put enough into his body over the years that it would be quite difficult to pin it down to like a Zempic in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it comforts me, the idea of a Zempic, because you know my big fear is waking up fat. This you know Kafka, the author.
No, not.
All right, he's quite a famous existentialist author from the Czech Republic, and he wrote a book called The Metamorphosis, and it was about a guy waking up as a cockroach. Like just one day he woke up as a cockroach, and I have that fear, but like waking up as, I don't know, Barry from EastEnders or something, old and fat and bald. But it's something that is always that's my biggest fear. So a Zempic, what's the hair loss drug called?
Minoxidil or finasteride.
Finasteride, that's the one. Like those things bring me a bit of comfort that they're available. It's so good to be alive at the moment, isn't it?
You just have a hair transplant.
Yeah, I guess so. Just nip off to Turkey with Amrabat and just get a new rug, innit?
It's mental, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, so this film, it came out in 2001.
Yeah, pre 9/11, I guess.
$10 million budget, and then it ended up making 174 million at the box office, which is so impressive.
As much as that?
Yeah. I don't know where to get started because it was like I was really impressed with it from the beginning. I loved the little montage at the beginning. Actually, it was lovely. It's just I don't know, films like this. It's not something I would go out of my way to watch, but then once I kind of start watching it and I see the different techniques that they use to kind of like make the film with regards to like the production design, it's really cool, and you get like a real sense of being like in France, and yeah,
Well,
it's amazing.
That's an imaginary France, my friend.
Well, it's quite a nice France.
I mean, I love France, but Paris is a complete shithole. It's nothing like that. Or anymore, I guess. Like, I would, if Paris was like that, where, you know, greengrocers just like come and deliver you champagne and you've got keys to your flat and things, wicked. But I guess it was a different time, wasn't it? Because you said it's 2001. And I've always thought that 2001 marked a real change in cinema because of 9/11. Like, I think that everything changed and you stopped getting films like Armageddon Armageddon is a fascinating film to watch now. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I'd have to watch it again though.
It's just in a post 9/11 world. It's really strange. I think it's pre 9/11. I don't remember, but this, like, along with the color palette, like it really does. It does feel like it was a completely different time.
It
wasn't like 25 years ago. It seems a lot. It seems a lot further away. That sort of like lifestyle and like sort of like nostalgia, I suppose, isn't it?
Well, I think one thing that jumped out to me with this film is obviously they referenced the death of Princess Diana, and I can remember exactly where I was when that happened. So that brought back memories for me.
Where were you?
I was at home and I got a call from my nan, and she was like, "Is your mum awake?" I was like, "No." And then she was like, "Can you, when she wakes up, can you let her know that Princess Diana has died in a crash with Dodie?" And I was like, "What?" And then obviously I told my parents about it, and then it was just on the news all day, and it was just such a surreal day, man. I mean, weird day.
Very similar for me. I think I saw it at like 9 o'clock in the morning or something on the news. It was a Sunday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Did we have school the next day? Was it the first day back from holidays?
I can't remember going to school the next day, you know. I just, for some reason, I feel like we was on holiday or something.
I remember we definitely had a day off for the funeral from school. I think it was the first day of school the next day. And I remember sort of being, oh, that's a bit sad. And then it felt like the whole world lost its mind.
Yeah, it did. It was a weird day. It was a really strange day.
Well, it's quite important to Amélie, as we'll discuss later. But do we have any hellos to do before we get into this?
We're gonna big up Bilal.
Big up Bilal.
He
didn't enjoy it.
He said he was impressed with the intro, though.
Yeah. Didn't enjoy the plot.
It's not everyone's cup of tea, I guess.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely fine not to like films and so on. I just like I have to say I think that this might be the second or third time I've seen it. I haven't seen it a lot. I did think that I didn't enjoy it as much this time around as the first time around, but I think that's because I didn't really. I must watch this when I was 15 or 16. I didn't really sort of like. Well, I wasn't that interested in girls probably at that age. I was more interested in football.
Yeah.
And watching it the second time around, how annoying Amélie is when you just literally want your photos back and she's sending you on this ridiculous like journey.
Yeah.
Made me think of just how difficult it can be with women.
Yeah, I was thinking to myself, why didn't you just tell him you like him, for God's sake?
Yeah, that's,
you know what I mean?
And that's the thing, is that I watching this back, like, this is a real girls' film. Like, this is, we often talk about things like the hero's journey, but this is the heroine's journey. And I didn't realize, as I told you back, I didn't realize the first time I saw it how much this film was about sex. Like, it's sort of like, it was, I don't know if it was over my head, but now it's quite interesting, like the sort of female.
Well, I like how I liked how they showed certain things. So there's one bit in it where the narrator describes her going out and imagining like all the people having orgasms at that very moment.
Yeah,
and I love that little montage. It was just so funny but interesting how it was filmed, and I thought, wow, these people are just something else. It's so eccentric how they create films. There's no filter, basically. There's no, like, I don't know, we're a bit prudish here in Britain, I think, compared to the French. They're a lot more out there.
Quite rightly so.
Yeah.
What the bit that made me laugh is that when he doesn't turn up to their date or whatever, she basically sort of says he's joined the Mujahideen with Bin Laden.
Yeah, that was so funny. Because, again, it's basically her overactive imagination thinking all these sort of scenarios. And it was so hilarious. It was so hilarious. How... And then it's like, oh, he's joined the Mujahideen, and she's like, it made her feel better knowing, oh, I'm not gonna, I don't have to think about him. You know, I'm like, wow, what a nutter.
Well, I really like that characteristic of Amélie. It's something I share with her, where there's like a very simple explanation, and yet she picks the most stupid one possible.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I mean, I don't know, but did you, I didn't. But did you quickly work out what the guy was doing with the passport photos? The repairman.
Yeah. Towards the end, I did, yeah.
But when it was obvious what he was doing?
Yeah.
Okay, right. I've always really liked that, because that's exactly how I do things. Instead of just the most simple explanation, come up with the most stupid thing possible. And that's what I like about Amélie. And to Bilal's comments, I know exactly what you mean. That guy at the grocery store, I don't know what I've seen him in, but I've seen him in a hell of a lot. And I believe a lot of this cast are like, you know how every British actor is in Harry Potter?
Yeah.
I think pretty much every French actor, except for Gérard Depardieu, is in Amélie. Like, they're all, and Eric Cantona, they're all really, really well known. But right, should we start off with your general impression, Mr. Tyrone?
So yeah, it starts off where we kind of like see that Amélie's a young girl and she's got
a general impression of the whole film.
Well, I'll get there later on. I want to go through it in the beginning.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, general impression.
But did you like it?
I liked Audrey Tautou as an actress. I love the fact that, you know, she seems like this really eccentric, introverted person who will go out of her way for anybody, but then deep down towards the end, she shows this vulnerable side where it's like, yeah, she's lonely. She feels like, oh, yeah, I want to help everyone, but I also want something for myself. And I love how the film explains like her mirror, because he's basically her mirror, isn't he? The guy she ends up with, he's kind of had a similar upbringing. He's longed for someone else.
Yes, they're compared as brother and sister at one point, which quite far-sighted based on what's happened to porn categories, I'm told. What I really liked about her is I loved how I loved her quiet anger at the grocer. Yeah. It's so good. That acting is that is just the sort of the venom in the way she sort of says like merci and it's so good. Yeah. Like, she's amazing in this film.
She is, yeah. It's a fantastic performance.
And did you think, right, like, you know, like there's some quite sort of like early-ish CGI like used in this film?
Yeah, I think the the bit. So this is a shot that is really interesting. So when they're describing how she likes to crack the creme brulee, that shot was amazing when she just
Yeah.
cracking it. And I didn't know if it was CGI. It might be, but that looked really good. And you know, the bit where she's dipping her hand in the grains, just simple things like that. It's just so interesting to watch.
What I found the most interesting is when she was skimming stones.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, that was good.
She's skimming them towards the camera.
Mm.
Which I remember thinking, like, is she actually doing that, or is that CGI? Because that's quite risky filmmaking to be throwing rocks at a camera.
I reckon it would have been. They would have directed her to do that.
Yeah, well, she's very good at skimming stones. Then,
and
big up to Bart.
And yeah, obviously we get the So obviously we've got the narrator who's basically describing Amélie, her family, her heart condition, which isn't actually a heart condition because she's just happy to be close to her father for a few seconds.
Yeah.
And then I love the cinema shot where she actually speaks to us on the camera.
Yes.
The breaking of the fourth wall. That's amazing. I love that. And it happens a few times throughout the film, even towards the end, which is really good.
Yeah, well, I think it's, you know, that a director or a writer has got a love for cinema when because it happens in so many films where a character loves looking at people's faces in the cinema. Because I did that in Return of the King the other day, like, you know, for some of the big Lord of the Rings scenes, and I had a little look around to see, you know, if people were well into it, and someone was quite clearly asleep. But yeah, like I like that. But in terms of the setup of the film, it's the narrator is a real sort of like crutch here to allow the writer and the director to kind of like build out the tone of the film, because it's essentially a kind of fairy tale. Would you say?
It is, but like at the beginning, I didn't know whether I was going to like it at the beginning, because obviously when you've got narrators too much, I don't like being spoon-fed when I'm watching something, but it did work. It did work.
It's very on the edge though, isn't it? I mean, Amélie doesn't really speak for 15 minutes. There's no of the real characters talking properly. It's just, it's a bit like, it reminds me of the start of Life of Pi, where it's trying to give you, like, it's trying to sort of submerge you into this world. And I actually think Life of Pi might do it a little bit better, but there's so much stuff in the opening act that really plays into the themes and the ideas from that happen later on. And a lot of them are to do with sex, in my opinion.
I love the bit at the beginning where she's taking pictures, because obviously she's
yeah.
Let's get to the fish bit. So the fish, he's trying to commit suicide before they let him out in the river, which is really funny. When she starts screaming, and then she gets given this camera to take pictures, and you see the shape of like a rabbit in the clouds, and the bear, which is really cool. I love that bit.
And it's fun CGI, isn't it? Because it looks a bit shit, but to me, it's meant to invoke what it was like being a child. When I don't know about you, I grew up in the countryside, and I used to do a lot of looking at clouds. And that's it. You know, it reminds me of my childhood, looking at clouds. But I think so. The bits that I really liked at the start of the film for me is, I like the color palette in this film a lot. I know I don't talk about color very much, but this has got a very sort of like, it feels like its own distinctive style of the sort of like the yellows and the greens with a bit of red. And like the French, they're so chic, aren't they? Like, you know, the clothes that she has on and that people are wearing, they're just very aesthetically pleasing. But you get this idea of disconnected right away. So you got the idea of her being disconnected from her father, but also wanting physical contact.
Yeah.
And that's something I think that plays throughout the film. And you also get this this idea that she's not really connected with sex. Like she sits out like daydreaming about how many people are like fucking, as you said, for the orgasm montage.
Yeah.
And then when you see her having sex, I still think it's very funny. The
That was
face that she puts
yeah.
on.
That is one of the funniest scenes I've ever seen. It was so hilarious, and it's like, yeah, it's so underwhelming for her. She just trying to enjoy it, but
It's
can't.
also like how she's sort of smiling at it. I remember years ago.
Yeah.
I watched one episode of this TV show that I keep meaning to watch, but I've never got around to, called Fleabag.
I can't. I tried to. I couldn't get into. I thought this is shit. I turned it off.
Have you seen the first episode?
I don't like. I couldn't. I thought fuck this. So,
Well, there's a bit where there's a really fat old man like having sex with her, just shouting how young she is, and she's basically just laughing.
Fair enough.
And it really reminded me of Amélie, just like sitting there, kind of like giggling, like during sex. But the idea, so like she's kind of like a child, and it's explaining what she is and stuff. And you also get this sort of like what people like and what people don't like. And once again, that's a very childish way to sort of view people. Like, you know, when you're 7, this is my friend David. He likes cows, but he doesn't like Bovril.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So it really sets her up in this kind of like arrested development. The random characters being introduced for no reason. Like which ones? In the beginning, below.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure what characters you're referring to, mate. I'm not sure.
So who gets introduced in the beginning? It's her mother, her father, the next door neighbour, where it shows that she's got a bit of spite in her.
Now that is hilarious. Where obviously he's tried to trick her into thinking she's caused a massive accident.
Yeah,
and then you can just imagine, right? If me and you was watching a really good game, like all right, the Man United Arsenal game, and we can't see what's going on because it keeps cutting out, I go nuts. So I was just laughing my head off, thinking that's me. Like if the TV just goes off for an important goal, it's so funny.
Yeah, I'd go. I'd go. Yeah, but that also shows that same kind of level of spite she shows to the grocer later, who I thought she was a little bit too. I think she went a bit too over the top on him. The guy right at the end.
What, the guy that Amélie's on the scooter with? Are you talking about him?
Do you mean Bertrand or whatever he's called when he's shown like reconnecting with his grandson?
That's who he might mean. And I love the setup into that scene actually. I wasn't expecting it because it's like it speaks about Diana and how it's the day that changed Amélie's life forever. And you're thinking to yourself, okay, what's this? What's the connection with this? And it wasn't that at all. It's just her finding this little box in the wall, which is really good.
Yeah, well, that's the inciting incident, isn't it? Like that's kind of the start of the film. The thing beforehand is like, you know, we see like Amélie needs to make a change in her life. She's just kind of sweeping along. We get introduced to the 2 windmills and all the people in the 2 windmills. It's like a kind of slice of life, as it were, and how Amélie really isn't kind of present in the world. You know, it's like she's an observer, not a participant.
Yeah, like she's basically an NPC, non-player character.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's a really good way of thinking about it, actually. She's an NPC in her own story.
Yeah.
And then we get, as you quite rightly point out, we get the inciting incident of her perfume bottle, you know, like revealing a secret treasure, as it were. But I wanted to ask you, did you think, like, the death of Princess Diana, like, what, do you think there's any importance to that? Because I did.
I did, because it's one of them things, you know, people are going to be speaking about it in France. Of course they were, but I like the fact that it kind of gave me a surprise, because I wasn't expecting the treasure to be found at that point.
Right.
I was wondering I was wondering if there was something about Diana that she liked, because I've never seen it before. So
Yeah.
it was a nice little surprise. And then obviously you get to kind of, you know, the narrator kind of tells us, you know, she's going to try and get this treasure to him, and if it makes him happy, she's going to resolve to kind of carry on doing good things for people. And I thought, oh wow, this is interesting.
Because so what I thought is that the death of Princess Diana is actually the start for her. It's not finding the box. The box is just a product of it. Because what would Princess Diana represent? So she's died in Paris. That's
Young.
right.
She was young. She died quite young, didn't she?
Yeah, she died young and beautiful and all these things. And I think that Amélie basically realizes that she's heading for a death. And so when Diana dies, I think it's a bit of a wake-up call to Amélie, because Diana's a young mother as well, and she was off with her boyfriend, and all these aspects of womanhood that Amélie isn't anywhere near. She's a child still. You know, like when she has sex, it's not passionate. It's in massive contrast. Do you remember when she has that scene of all those people having orgasms?
Yeah.
Compare that to when she has sex. Completely different, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I think that this is about, like, when Diana dies, Amélie sort of realizes that something's got to change, and so when she finds that box, you're completely correct. She decides that what she's going to do is sort of be like this guardian angel and help people from afar, and it's one step to her actually sort of becoming just a proper woman in the world. So it's, you know, it's no different to like Luke Skywalker being a boy going off to become a man.
But it's also like her way of connecting with people, because obviously she's not been able to grow up in like school because of her parents keeping her out of it.
That's a good point.
It's really affected her, because school is, what people don't realize is, we don't just go to school to learn. It's how we learn how to kind of
socialize, isn't it?
Yeah, well, social interaction and how to kind of like communicate with people, and she's not had none of that. And
yeah, my mate's got a kid, and he's absolutely convinced that like his kid must be like 12 now, but he was like 7 or 8 during COVID. And
oh no,
yeah, like because of those 2 years like isolated, he's like absolutely terrified, like how weird his son is. And I'm like, look, don't worry about it, they're all weird at that age. But it's a really good point, is that you need that socialization. And later on with her shadow, Mr. Amélie, he's basically the same, isn't he? And I'd also like to point out that he lives in a sexy but sexless environment.
And all these things we're talking about are definitely like deliberate choices by the filmmakers, and very interesting choices as well, because obviously it all makes sense.
Well, a lot. The reason I used fairy tale quite, you know, like deliberately, is a lot of children's stories basically are about becoming more powerful than your parents. Because you don't have any power. But I've noticed with a lot of stories that focus on like young women, like Labyrinth, like Cinderella, like what's the one that goes and sleeps with all the bears? Goldilocks. And Little Red Riding Hood. There's very, very sexual elements to these stories, even like Snow White and stuff. Like they're very almost like Freudian or Jungian in that sense. And I feel that this is very similar. And like, I'll keep going on about this, but I think a lot of this is to do with Amélie becoming comfortable with sex.
What did you think about the mother, obviously, the mother and her kind of like, because I think that kind of like, obviously when the mother dies, because that woman like decides to commit suicide, before that, the narrator's basically telling us they're
Mm.
going into the church so they can pray for a brother,
Yeah.
pray for a boy. And it's like, if you were happy with your daughter and appreciated your daughter and hadn't taken her to church for that very reason, that wouldn't have happened to you. So it's like there's all these harsh like lessons.
Oh, I didn't read it like that. I read it more that she wants like a family, and maybe she wanted a companion for Amélie as well. Like, she's obviously a hysterical woman. It's meant to show like loving parents that just aren't very good at their jobs.
Yeah, maybe.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like they're not bad people. Like, do you
No,
remember how
no,
annoyed
they're
I
not.
got in Interstellar with Bradley Cooper just being a crap dad?
Yeah.
He's not a crap dad. He's not great, but he's not. You know, none of them throw off the mantlehood of being parents, and they're just not suited to it, and they're probably like quite destructive for each other. And like the fish trying to get out of the goldfish bowl, I think is meant to be Amélie.
Yeah, and you know what was really hilarious as well when she's screaming and the dad just looks at her when she's screaming, trying to kind of get the fish out, and you can tell how fed up he is. But you know, the little scenes like that,
Yeah.
it just tells you certain things.
Well, he's so repressed, isn't he?
Yeah,
and that's what his journey is about, letting go of his oppression. It's like he's got to like sort of, you know, he even sort of says that like he wanted to do all this stuff, but he couldn't because of Amélie. And he's not blaming her. It's like, I think he's a sympathetic character to me. He's doing his best. He's just got everything wrong.
but for a doctor, just because it's mental how he thinks, because her heart's beating quite fast, that it's a heart condition. I don't know. I understand. I understand that was.
Do you not see? Do you not see how it plays into Amélie's view on the world? What did we say about the? I'll pause just before this because I've just seen Bilal is going off in the comments about this film. I would imagine her father is a big actor, Bilal. I'm not sure. I mean, apparently the guy. There's a bit later in the film where some passport photos start talking to Mr. Amélie.
That's funny. That's hilarious.
I think that's one of France's most famous actors ever in the pictures.
Oh, okay.
Like, so I suspect it would be. Amelie's very annoying. I didn't.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
I do now because I've experienced women, and
I get
it reminds me a lot of what
no, but
like.
but the thing is, because we see how she grows up, you understand why she is the way she is, why she's quite peculiar and a bit quirky and stuff. It's not. I think annoying's a bit harsh. I don't think she's annoying. She's just different, isn't she? A bit weird, but in a good way.
Yeah,
weird and wonderful.
So when you talk about like seeing her as she grew up and stuff, so these are the things that I took from her parents. They're both sides of her. One is her detachment from like the real world, as it were, through her father.
Yeah.
And the other part is her neuroticism, because she is quite neurotic and she's prone to sort of hysterics, but very internally, like when she thinks the guy's joined the Taliban, or like where she thinks like her camera is killing people and stuff like that. She's like a distillation of both of them. But when you say like about her dad as a doctor thinking she's got a heart condition, I think it works really well because it reminds me a lot of how Amélie comes. Do you remember how we talked about how Amélie comes to the least logical conclusion? I think that's what her dad has done. So, do you not think that's a nice parallel?
Well, it kind of explains a lot as we get like later on in the film how similar she is to both parents, I guess. So yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is what we see from both of her parents is that they haven't incorporated the balance from each other. Like, you know, her mum being a little bit more detached, her dad being a bit more sort of caring. The idea, you know, that in a marriage or relationship that, you know, you kind of balance each other out and become better for the result of it. Like we see that they didn't really sort of do that. And so in some ways you could argue that Amélie becoming a full-rounded woman like kind of shows what her parents should have been as a married unit.
Yeah.
Which I quite like as a concept. But I had another point, but it's completely slipped my mind. It'll have something to do with sex. I can't remember. Continue, sir. Continue.
So there's I'm trying to think. So yeah, when it's quite an interesting journey when she starts to kind of try and look for Mr. Depardieu, but she finds out as time goes on that she's been going for the oh no, Brother Tao. Sorry, is it Brother?
No, I like. Let's call him Depardieu because I know that name.
All right, they're looking. They're looking for this person. She's looking for this person to give the treasure back to, but she can't find him because. And it's interesting. She ends up finding is it 2 or 3 different people?
Yes,
She believes as the same name, and it's just there's so much stuff going on in this film for 2 hours. It's a lot to get your head around, isn't it? But
well, I loved it, right? Because this is when she finds the box. That is like the traditional start of Act 2.
Yeah.
Right. That's well, maybe not. Maybe not the tradition. Like you're getting into Act 2 where she's got a quest. And what I really liked about this was, do you know what? I thought someone was going to say that. She looked a bit like Dora in the posters.
That's what I thought. Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, I wondered if anyone was going to mention that. Dora is a very different character to Amélie. And Dora, actually, I can't say that. I'll let Dora announce it herself. But yeah, so what I really liked about this, Tyra, is that you see like when Amélie is traveling between the locations, it's really chaotic and stuff. It's the kind of way you would film, I don't know, someone with autism going into the world for the first time. It's noisy, it's loud, it's scary. And what I think is really sweet is at the end of the film, they use exactly the same style for her on the motorbike with Mr. Amélie.
Yeah.
Showing how like she's kind of changed through the journey. So I like that. But I also love her sort of like how she starts finding a bit of enjoyment in like lying and stuff.
Oh, so we're talking about in the in the bar area, obviously. What is it called?
No,
again?
like when she says it's for a census and all these things. It's the first time I feel she's been allowed to use her imagination.
Fair enough.
And I like this because it's sometimes I think there's a lot of heroicism in the mundane. Like like for people like me and you, there are things that we do that are just natural or normal, right? I don't know, playing football or something like that. But for some people, these are really, really big days or big events or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I really like that it's quite sort of courageous of Amélie to go and knock on someone's door and talk to someone.
Yeah.
Do you know? Because I'm not someone who's... I'll shock you. I don't really get like sort of social anxiety or stuff like that. But I know it's really quite difficult for people who do. And so, like, do you get it?
No, not at all.
Yeah, like, I mean, like, look, we're both very extroverted, so we're not going to get it. But I do always like the idea of, like when you see a young couple at the cinema, I always like to sort of do what Amélie does and make up a little story about them, and you think like it's their first date or something like that, you know. Did you ever do that at airports? Is another one I do it at a lot of the time.
All the time.
Yeah, good.
I like to I don't know why. I'm a bit weird like that. I've always liked to observe people. I don't know why.
I don't think it's weird. I think everyone kind of does it. Except for boring people.
I do it in so I wouldn't say I'm like shy in social settings, but you know, like if there's like a big party
Yeah.
I'm kind of like the person who's quite quietly confident. I'll have a conversation, but a lot of the time I do just observe everyone in the room and see how they
Yes.
move. That's just me. That's what I've always done.
No, I think most people are like that. It's also because we've all got the touch of a predator to us, like from our sort of evolutionary, like we've got like lizard brains and things like that, and you're kind of like you're kind of trying to work your environment out before you just jump in.
Lizard brains. We better get Yabba on.
Yeah, shout out to Yabba.
Yeah.
I will. Yeah, we'll message Yabba with some films and see if there's any he wants to come on for. Like, it'd be good to see old Yabalicious again.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think like so. I absolutely like love it when you see quiet. You're observant too, Bilal. Do you think there's a difference between an observer and observant? Because I used to get like you wouldn't whenever like we watched football YouTube. I always used to like get called observant because I used to comment on what people had in their backgrounds. Like what books they were reading and things. And no one ever realised it was because I just couldn't be bothered to listen to them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Platforming players. Oh, give me a break. But so anyway, right. I really, really like that Amélie is testing herself through adversity.
Yeah.
Like it's scary for her. She's having to talk to people. She's not involved in this world, and yet she's kind of persevering with this quest. That's what really warms me to that character. It's that it's tough, but she's going ahead with it. I can always respect perseverance in people.
And like I'm trying to think of what it's the people that she kind of meets as well. It's like that first guy was a little bit weird. I just remember him being at the door and she asked him a few questions and he quickly closes it. It's like, all right, mate, calm down.
Yeah, but it's interesting. He's non-threatening, is he?
Yeah.
Amélie is pretty fit, isn't she?
Yeah. Well, yeah, she kind of like meets all these crazy people in certain situations, and it's like we're saying, oh, it's a scary thing, but it doesn't look like she has some fear sometimes. It's like she just goes forward. Yeah, it's weird. It's scary, but she doesn't show it much, I don't think.
And then we meet probably my favourite character in the film, Mr. Glass.
The guy, the artist, or are you talking about someone else? Yeah.
I love Mr. Glass. I remember laughing so much at the fact that he's got a video camera like that zoomed in on a jewelry store because he can't be asked to buy a clock. I just absolutely love it. So there's just this big watch on his telly. I think it's exactly the sort of thing that my grandmother would have done. So I've always really liked that. Like it's just such a stupid thing that it tickles me.
Or frugal. Is it because you can't? Yeah.
I don't know how frugal it is to use a TV and a video camera.
Just don't know, man. It's mental.
But does she meet Mr. Glass before she meets Mrs. Letters?
No, she meets Mrs. Letters first because Mrs. Letters had a partner who decided to run off to South America, and she's That's the funny thing. She's basically Amélie is basically like her therapist. She's just offloaded to her, and Amelie's like so polite. She's like, "Oh, I think I need to go," and she's like, "No, you've got 5 minutes." And she's so polite. She just sits there, has a drink, has a few shots, and she's just listening to everything for quite a long time, and then ends up leaving.
Yeah, well, it's. I think there's a couple of things like going on there. One is it shows that like people are sort of like welcoming in some ways. Like you're right. She's completely railroaded into that. It's like I don't know. Do you have any Irish in you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like my Irish family. They do this sort of stuff to me all the time. Like, you go around to drop something off for your mum, and before you know it, you're having to listen to stories from the old country. And eating, like they've got the special yogurts out for you.
Special yogurt, some scones, a cup of tea.
Did they, like, in your Irish family, in the Irish family's bar, what we used to have is every house would have a collection of photos, like, that were sort of, they were all auntie this and cousin that, and they were kind of arranged in a family tree, but no one was actually an aunt or a cousin.
I think here Bilal's talking about a later person Amélie meets who's clearly a lesbian.
Yeah, that's definitely correct. I forgot about her. Yeah. Like there's a sort of like a very sort of dommy lesbian that wants to do Amélie. Yeah. And Amélie is sort of like, that's just another bit about Amélie sort of like avoiding sex, as it were, because I don't think she's avoiding her because she's a lesbian. I think that it's just a little reminder of what all this is leading to. Which is, the climax of the film is literally a climax.
Yeah.
Yes, the letters were from Amélie. She makes some letters later. What's a special yogurt? Well, a Muller rice corner. But the rice corners weren't very good yesterday. Do you see what I've done there? That's a Manchester United joke.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Thank you. It was not a good one. It's in the telling. So with Mrs. Letters, I think it's meant to be a couple of things. And I think Mr. Glass represents something as well, which is that this is a bit like A Christmas Carol. These spirits come to visit Ebenezer Scrooge and warn him of his future.
Yeah.
I think these are warnings for Amélie of what might happen to her. The way these people's lives have ended up, where you've got someone who is so detached from the world that he's videoing clocks, and you've got someone who is pining for a lost love. So it's similar to her mother and her father in certain ways. And I don't know about you, but I really like the story of Mrs. Letters.
It's a nice story.
Well, yeah, but it's also like it's a white lie and stuff, but it's of all the little stories in it, I think it's the one that touched me the most, about this woman who hasn't sort of moved on, who she's a jilted lover and she can't really deal with it. Like, she loved her husband and sort of got left behind and stuff like that, and it's just a very quiet tragedy. Do you know what I mean? And it's she's the only one to me where it feels like something happened to her, that it wasn't completely her fault.
Sad, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's the one that's sort of like, because a lot of things like Amélie is it's about like the games that we play at parties and at the cinema and at the airport, where imagine what the lives are of other people. Yeah. Is that everyone's got their own little story and their own little tale, and as Amélie gets invested in the world, we get invested in their stories. And to be honest, only one, for me, just makes no sense and has no payoff.
Which one's that?
The hypochondriac and the stalker.
Oh, the stalker inside the two women.
Yeah. Like, what happens to them at the end? Like, they have a fight, and then it's never resolved.
I just think she basically tells him, you need to learn that women need space sometimes. That's basically it.
Yeah, but he doesn't sort of learn it. And I actually found that quite a sweet little story until, it sort of showed that he hadn't learned, even if it's quite important for the plot. Yeah. But yeah, Mr. Letters and Mr. Glass, I like a lot. I was going to ask you, do you find it a little bit too on the nose about the girl in the painting?
Oh, where he's basically describing her looking different to all the others.
Well, it's just they're talking about Amélie, aren't they? Yeah, and they're using the painting for it, because you said that she's like Amélie is like the therapist to Mrs. Letters.
Yeah.
But Mr. Glass is kind of her therapist, and he's like he sort of is in some ways he's the father that she never had.
Yeah, I think it works. I think everything with Mr. Glass and her. I think that just works. I think that's what she's needed. It's sad that she can't talk to her dad about these things, but at least she's found someone that she can talk to about it. If that makes sense.
It reminded me of child psychology, to be honest, where you're asked, you ask a kid to draw a picture and then you talk about the characters in the picture. And it's obvious that you're talking about the child itself.
Yeah.
And it seemed so deliberate to me that that's what it was, further infantilizing Amélie. No?
Yeah, definitely. I think, what it is for me. I can't get. I keep going back to the two windmills because I liked it as like a breakaway. It kind of seemed like the one place of normality, even though there were crazy things going on in there, like with the stalker and.
What, a circus? Like she was like in the circus.
Yeah, it was mental. I'm trying to. I couldn't believe it's actually a cafe that actually exists in Paris. I might have to go there.
Yeah, well, I mean, I imagine it's tremendously annoying. Maybe not now, 25 years later, but I imagine it was tremendously annoying in 2002 to go to that cafe. I mean, when I watched Return of the King, someone stood up and took a selfie when it said Lord of the Rings on the screen, and I was ready to fight them. This is not how you act in the cinema.
Calm down, Bathtime. Come on.
I was not. I also felt like a massive loser because I was by myself.
Really?
Yeah, Sarah's not going to watch 4.5 hours of Return of the King.
I thought you went with Sarah.
No, I went with Sarah to the Fellowship of the Ring. And then I went by myself to the other ones.
Oh no!
Oh, it's fine. Like I don't really have a problem going to the cinema by myself. I used to do it in Latin America quite a lot.
It's sad though.
Do you think so?
I've done it. I think I've done it a couple of times, and it's not a nice experience. I don't think you're a loser for doing it. I'm just.
Don't really. No,
it's nice to go with someone though.
The thing is you want to talk to someone about it afterwards.
Yeah.
Which is why this is why we're doing this. Like, you wouldn't think someone was a loser for watching a film at home by themselves.
Nah, I don't think you're a loser. It's just nobody. And the thing is, it's mental. I've seen so many people. Well, when I've been with people, you see like someone who goes on their own, no problem. A lot of people do it.
Yeah,
I've seen
I've no problem.
On their own.
I've no problem going by myself to the cinema. What I would have a problem with is going by myself to the theatre.
Yeah, that's going too far.
Yeah, that's too much, isn't it? Like the theatre's different to a cinema, though. But anyhow, yes, you like the two windmills. Did you think there was anything to the fact that when she finds Mr. Gerard Depardieu,
great scene.
Right, well, there's quite a lot of stuff about Don Quixote in the narration, and Don Quixote very famously charged at windmills, thinking they were giants.
Okay.
Do you think that there's any link there with it being called the two windmills?
There could be. I think. What was I thinking of? I was just thinking of this guy who's found this like lost treasure, and like he's talking about it must have been a guardian angel, and the emotion. I was kind of looking at the acting. I could see the tears in the man's face.
He's good, isn't he?
I thought the acting was absolutely 10 out of 10. It was superb. I felt everything in that moment.
Yeah.
Fantastic
being assaulted by childhood. Like,
it's just.
Do you ever smell Christmas?
Yeah.
That's,
you do. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like where you smell a childhood Christmas and you think about, I don't know, when you got a pair of football boots or something, and it's like it's almost like you're not your emotional circuitry isn't set up to deal with being confronted by being a child again.
I love the scene where he's in the playground and it's the best day of his life because he's won all the marbles. And then he's putting all the marbles in his pocket and then he loses all of them because of this teacher. That's a crazy scene, man. That is,
I know. I love that. I love those little inserts. Like, this is why Life of Pi disappointed me, because I thought that's what it was going to be like through the whole. I thought it was going to be very similar to Amélie.
As soon as they got onto the boat, the film went. It basically went down a cliff and fell straight down as rubbish after that.
Yeah,
very unsatisfying.
But what I really liked as well was him was him going into the same restaurant as her or same cafe and like talking to her, which was not
Yeah.
what she was expecting.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, what makes that scene so interesting is because he's talking to her like, "Have you got kids?" and all that sort of stuff,
Yeah,
and it's making her look inside herself. And
exactly.
and the best thing about that scene, he has no idea she's connected to him getting the treasure, which makes it
Yeah,
better.
yeah, and it's because Amélie didn't want that connection.
Yeah,
And so she suddenly has to sort of like deal with the consequences of her actions. And even though they're good actions, it was never part of her plan. She wanted to be on the outside. And now she's been pulled into it. And we get that cool thing about how he's going to go and reconnect with his daughter, who he hasn't seen for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And I think the next scene is Amélie going and talking to her dad.
Yeah,
Very quickly afterwards. So you can see that there's already there's a bit of a change going on with
it's
her.
all linked, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I like that scene where she visits her dad and she says to him, "Dad, you know what? You know, maybe you should travel more. Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
and see the world." It's such a nice scene. And,
It is. And did you work out what was happening with the what is it? No.
The garden, no.
Yeah.
I didn't look too deeply into it, if I'm honest. But
What when it's sending Polaroids from Moscow and stuff?
it was so funny.
It's really good. One of my favourite TV shows ever is The Wire, and The Wire stole that from Amélie, where they steal a police car and they just ship it all around the world, taking photos of it and mailing it to the head of the police station. I love the stuff with the gnome. I just imagine being like that, sort of repressed and logical, and you're getting holiday pictures of your gnome just all over the world, like in Cambodia and
That's
stuff.
hilarious, isn't it?
Yeah, I really like that. But I think that is linked to where the guy is talking about being a grandfather.
Yeah.
Because also being a grandfather, it just puts that subtle idea that Amélie is probably meant to be a mother. Like, I don't want to sound misogynistic or whatever, but that is sort of the kind of journey of a woman.
I like the little scene where she's kind of escorting the blind man through the street, and it's all done quite quickly. But I like how the camera pans to all the things she's talking about. Absolutely fantastic filmmaking, man. Brilliant.
Yeah, well, it's the chaos in her as well, isn't it? Finally getting unleashed, and she's just grabbed this guy and it's just running him around, telling her the world that she sees. And previously, we've seen him a few times before that scene. And he's just sitting and playing music and stuff. Do you remember he's got that like what's it called, a gramophone? In the train station, which bloody hell, the tube in Paris, amazing.
Yeah, but it's like
isn't Canary Wharf just such a crap sci-fi brutalist shithole compared to
all our tube stations compared to what that is, and then. What another thing I like is she takes out her change, gives it to the man who's busking without even a second thought, and then I don't even think she looks at him. It's basically like second nature for her to just do kind things again and again and again without thinking about it. So that's a cool scene.
No, yeah, you're right. I do really like it where she's whizzing around with the blind guy, and then they have that kind of shot of him like looking up to
he looks shocked
to heaven.
Yeah.
It's like the greatest thing ever. It sort of paints her as this sort of like angel, as it were. But once again, it's just her putting her toes into the real world. Like no consequences for her, but she's seeing the consequences for other people. Just building up this idea that she can contribute to the world instead of just observing it. And that goes further because I'm going to have to actually check Wikipedia to see what happens next, because I always get muddled. So that's when she begins to like start the romance between the stalker and the hypochondriac.
That's funny.
Yeah.
What's his name? Joseph? Joseph?
Well, I can check for you. It is. It's Joseph. Joseph.
Joseph and Madeleine Wallace.
Yeah.
Oh no, Madeleine Wallace is the woman, and she's the concierge of the block. She comes later.
Well, do you know what I liked about it? Was you got two characters that you thought were just going to be annoying.
Yeah.
Like, sort of comic relief, like pantomime characters, annoying and stuff. And I felt, in particular, it really humanized the hypochondriac woman.
I like that scene where she's sitting down with Georgette, right? And she says to her, look over there towards the bar area. What do you see? And then
yes,
she doesn't understand what Amelie's saying. Amelie's like, take your time and have a look, and I'll see you tomorrow. When you finally work it out, I'll speak to you tomorrow. I'm like, wow, all right.
Yeah.
Terrible. Not terrible, but she's just so funny. Do you know?
Yeah.
She's so funny. She's a funny
character. She's quite strict, isn't she?
Yeah. Yeah. Like this. She doesn't give anything away. She's almost like, yeah, if you're not intelligent to work out what I'm trying to show you.
Yeah, she ain't gonna. She's gonna help you by finding your old toys, but she's not gonna like. But it's. I find it really sweet that this woman. It's never occurred to her that that anyone could be interested in her, and so she's obviously a bit dumb about understanding what the point is. But I love the reaction, like from her, and I love it where she's speaking to the woman at the kiosk.
Yeah.
Where it's such a cool scene because you get the introduction of the bag of letters found on like Mont Blanc, I think it is. But it's also this woman goes, "Ooh, like something's changed about you," and she sort of like admits it to herself, saying, "Yeah, I think there's a guy who likes me, and I think he's quite nice and stuff." And I like the way we get all these side stories, and a bit like Mrs. Letters, these people become a bit more real, a bit more fleshed out. You can identify with them, and it's always really sweet when people kind of like fall in love, especially on screen.
But I also like the bit where you've got that greengrocer who's obviously chastising the guy all the time, and Amelie kind of looks at him fondly as well. Obviously, she's not in love with the guy, but she kind of smiles at him because she finds him funny.
Yeah, I think she fancies him a lot. And this is like, so she would definitely, if she was a proper grown-up, have probably like done something with him sexually. And but what surprised me quite a lot about him is that there's some scenes later where he's like, I can't remember what's wrong with him. He can't use his arm or something like that. It just came out of the blue because you hadn't seen that before. Like I was a little bit shocked. I was like, what's going on here? But I still don't like her treatment of the grocer.
Oh, you think she was a bit harsh with him?
Yeah, I think like
spiteful.
Electrocuting him. It's a bit too far, in my view.
Yeah.
Like, he might not be treating that guy particularly well, but he's giving him a job. And that's... A lot of people want jobs. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but he's not a slave, though.
No, he's not. He's not treated like one, either.
He's treating him like a stew. He's treating him like a slave. It's not.
Do you not think that is just standard patter down, like, the markets? Yeah. I've seen that all my life.
No one's ever spoken to me like that in a job. They never would.
No, not to you, but they've like. It's just like like these double acts. I mean, it's like it's a bit like Del Trotter from Only Fools and Horses.
Like when Del says you are a plonker, Rodney, like that sort of thing. Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, it's just like we used to have like farmers markets and the market in Corby and stuff, and every stall had that kind of like double act like going on. So I just saw it as a bit of performance rather than like that is how he actually treats him.
Fair enough.
I mean, I know he's meant to be unsympathetic. Like it's quite clear that he's meant to be a sort of a small villain.
He might not even be paying him properly. He might be giving him proper low wage. We don't know, do we?
No, but I don't know. I just.
I'll tell you what I thought he was. I thought he was. He might not be like French born. I thought he could be like an immigrant, and he's playing him like.
Oh, he's clearly not. Like, I mean, there's very like that France is not the France that you see now. Like, it's just like white people. I think that there's a couple of shots with like we'll call them migrants, let's say, but like people who aren't white, and but it's a very whitewashed Paris. Like, make no mistake about it. He's the only like. There's like maybe 20 characters in it, and for one of them to be like Algerian, that isn't representative of France ever, really, is it?
Well, that's my only criticism of the film. It's not very.
There's too many Algerians in it. You wanted it just white.
Not that. There's just not enough. Yes, it's a bit like of a whitewash film. There's not enough. It's not a diverse cast, is it? Sadly.
There's no frères, brothers.
Yeah, there's no brothers in it, and I don't like that. No film's perfect.
No, but I mean, it does feel like a deliberate choice, though, to me. Like, I think it's meant to represent a Paris of yesteryear and stuff like that. Because Paris is complete shithole. Like, I can't stress that enough.
But do you think Paris was like that in '97? I wouldn't know.
No, of course it wouldn't have been like that. Like, Paris had colonies in Algeria. I think in like 1967, 300 Algerians were made to jump over a bridge in France. Like a very famous, like, I mean, the French are proper into like oppressing people. So I think it is a deliberate choice because there's always been like immigrant communities in Paris around places like Saint-Denis, where and stuff like that. Like, you know, do you remember when we saw that more people were born in Paris than in Africa who played in the African Cup of Nations?
Yeah.
Like, that hasn't just happened in the last 20 years. That's always been there. So I think it's a very deliberate choice to paint in the same way that I think a lot of Richard Curtis films paint a very strange picture of London. Like, you know, it's all middle-class people living in really big houses in Notting Hill and things. Do you know what I mean? It's not really... Like, London wasn't like that in the 90s.
No, it wasn't.
So I think that that's a deliberate choice, basically. And although, on the plus side, we do get, like... But I suppose a mentally disabled immigrant portrayed in a sympathetic way.
Yeah.
You know, it's a bit patronising, I suppose.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, did you feel that?
Yeah.
That's my racist correspondent.
Well, they're kind of like basically kind of like, I don't know. Maybe the filmmakers were thinking to themselves, "Oh, we can't have him too intelligent."
Oh, come on. Maybe actually. I
don't know. I don't know. It's not me criticizing it. I've said that there's good things about this. But you've got to kind of be balanced as well, haven't you? So,
yeah, like, no, I mean, I've got to say, I think that after Amélie finds the pictures, the film drops a lot in sort of speed, as it were. It plods a little bit for me.
What did you think about her lying to the woman in the concierge that her ex gave her a last love letter? Do you think that was right? I mean, just to make her happy.
Yes, I do think that was right.
It was nice,
because
I suppose.
It happens basically at the point where Amélie is like thinking she's messed up with Mr. Amélie. And it's more, I think, about her not wanting to be like that woman, pining for her entire life.
Yeah.
And so she's trying to sort of, once again, because I think in what did we talk about? In Life is Beautiful, we talked a lot about victimhood. In Amélie kind of she sees herself as a victim quite a lot of the time in the film. And it's weird because it's different because she's a woman, so it doesn't feel as annoying as it does in things like Life of Pi, which, you know, gender roles, I guess. God, I'd be absolutely slated if people listen to these things. So, like, but do you know what I mean? Like,
No, I'll be honest. The difference with Life and Pi, when he's crying and he's just getting, I just found him a bit intolerable towards the end.
To be honest, for a man to do that is pathetic. I don't see it as pathetic for a woman, and that's probably
exactly.
That is patriarchy, misogyny, whatever. But that is how I feel.
Yeah, just being honest, isn't it?
Yeah, like, and so I think that what she does with the letters is a little bit about herself and things like that, trying to make herself feel better and salvage the situation. You're right, though. It is manipulation and it is cunning and sly, but it's not too far removed from all the stuff that she's done, such as breaking into a man's house, poisoning him, like trying to electrocute him, and also making him think he's shrinking.
But even before that, what makes me laugh is the way she kind of kisses her husband's picture and then she wipes it to clean it again. I'm thinking, you are blood. Not in a rude way, but you're like, Jesus Christ, you were obsessed with him.
Yeah, despite
him running away with another woman.
Exactly, but she wasn't able to move on, and that's what Amélie is like.
And then I love the bit where we first see her, right? And she's talking about him, and then she's talking about Black Lion, and it cuts to the stuffed dog. Looking up at him. That was so fun. I cracked up when I saw that. Yeah,
I love stuff like that. I think it's fantastic. Like just, but it's also so cool for a character because she stuffed her dog. She hasn't been able to move on from it. It's still there like a ghost.
Oh, it's crazy.
But
there are people like this, though. There's weird people like this who do this shit.
Have you did you grow up with dogs?
I did, yeah. I had first dog we ever had was a German Shepherd. Oh my god! And when he died, I was so upset, man.
Would you have cloned him?
No.
Yeah, that's the new having your dog stuff. Yeah. I sort of feel the same way, but I do think about that. Like, what would it be like to just keep cloning your pet over 20 years?
Basically, if we were to clone you, the Darius that would grow up would not be like you. He'd have a completely different personality. So it's pointless. It's not the same.
Oh, you're on to behavioralism. Skinner and Watson.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy, though. It's dangerous cloning as well.
What do you mean it's dangerous?
Because if we were to clone you, the Darius that would grow up would be so angry that he was cloned and he wasn't original, that he was cloned from you. He'd probably try and find you.
Well, this is interesting. As you know, I'm trying to write a comedy about some clones for us to do at the moment. And I don't want to get sidetracked because there's a lot I would want to say at the moment, but it's not related to Amélie.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff I want to talk to you that we'll have to talk about after, actually.
Okay.
It's insane.
Well, do you reckon? Like,
I don't know if I could say it on the channel, but it's really insane what I want to talk about. But we will talk about it after.
All right, well, just one tiny bit of insanity then. Do you reckon, like, maybe in 30 years, you'll be able to buy, like, a 6-pack of Britney Spears or something?
Probably.
We just got to hang on, Tyrone. Keep being healthy.
I'm ordering an Amélie Android. Sorry, Miss Tattoo, but
she's a beautiful creature, Amélie.
Yeah, she is. Yeah,
but one thing I did find quite funny is that when Mr. Amélie was waiting in the restaurant, a sort of sexy Amélie came in to sit down with someone else, and he was like really excited, and she properly gives sexy Amélie the side eye.
So funny.
Yeah, and then something similar happens in the passport booth as well.
But even before then, there's a bit in the Two Windmills. There's actually a girl who goes up to Georgette who was quite cute. I don't know who that is, but
was that not the end of this?
No, there was another one. She had like I don't know if she had short hair. I can't remember who it was.
Oh, is she the one who says like, "Oh, I don't need the change" or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, little ginger.
Yeah.
But right, where all right, I want to get into the middle of the second act because I found so she finds she's seen Mr. Amélie out and about, like underneath the passport machines, and she comes up with that story about how this guy wants to live forever, like a ghost or something. I found her sort of seduction of Mr. Amélie some of the weirdest shit I've seen for quite some time. Like, when she... So, what I think's really cool, right, is that she... they start putting up notices around the city for each other, don't they? And she finds out he works at a sex shop.
Yeah.
Which is like... And I think sex is her biggest fear, like proper, intimate sex. Not like casual grinding of genitalia. But, you know, like...
Oh, so you think her being with someone who she loves and doing it with them is scarier than the casual thing we saw at the beginning?
Exactly. Because it's about being involved and stuff. So it's actually, in some ways, it's quite a male fear. Like, you know, like fear of commitment, as it were, of being sort of tied down and having feelings and all of that. Like, things I'm sure that, like, surely you must have been through this.
There's nothing worse than being with someone when the chemistry is absolute rubbish.
No, I mean the fear of, like, when you're, say, 19 to 23, 24, of getting tied down and sort of emotionally involved with someone, and you're not quite ready for these feelings. Like, the fear of kind of being vulnerable with someone, as it were.
I'll be honest with you. That's never worried me.
No. It used to be a worry for me.
Okay.
Well, that you know, I used to live in Latin America, and having something like that means that I'm in Latin America now forever.
Yeah, you know, it would have been more difficult over there for sure.
Yeah, it wasn't difficult. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, so I think, well, that's what I think Amélie is scared of, is it's not so much sex, it's meaningful sex. It's like giving herself to someone else. And I think it's really cool that he works in a sex shop. Like, so it kind of represents her fear. And she goes in and, you know, she asks the incredibly nice stripper. Like that, What I loved about the sex shop is how it kind of mirrored a little bit of the two cafes.
The two windmills. Yeah, it's basically just normal people, but it's just a sex shop. That's all.
Yeah, and like even when that stripper is like dancing for people, and she's like, "Oh, look, I don't want to cover your shift and things."
Yeah,
like just sort of mundane in a situation you wouldn't do it. But the sort of, I don't know, call her a dominatrix. It's just really nice and stuff like that. And she bigs her boy up and things. And then, like, you know, Amélie is like, "Oh, you know, does he have a girlfriend?" and stuff like that. Yeah, like, because she's doing the classic, which is falling in love with the idea of someone rather.
Well, I like that first scene where she first sees him, where they first see each other. You can, and it shows. I don't know why they did this. They didn't really need to, but they show like a heart beating with the effect.
Yeah, well, it's just a callback to her dad.
And
like how,
true.
Do you know what I mean? It's just this. It's this little thing about how she's still kind of a bit like a child, and she needs to grow up. And then this second part is her growing up, because in mythology, there's always the idea of the cave, right? So that is going into the cave. This is like Jason and the Argonauts, like Beowulf, like the hero in the middle of the story has to go into a really scary place and come out with the treasure. And in this, it was bizarre to me to see that Amélie went into the cave and sexualized it.
The ghost train, you mean?
Yeah. Like, yeah, so exactly. So
yeah,
like,
that was a funny
ghost train.
Yeah, that was a funny scene, actually. Well, no, not a funny scene. She knew, but she kind of knew that was going to happen. But she wanted.
Yeah, but you see her going in, and she's all sort of like,
she's enjoying
when she's
it
on the train. No, when she's like on the train, she's sort of out of place and nervous. And then it's a very sensual experience where she's in it. Like, she gets goosebumps. He's touching her and whispering in her ears and things. And it's like, it's her dealing with her sort of like her fear of sex, as it were. It's her it's a integrate. Do you remember how we talked about the shadow with Richard Parker?
Yeah.
That is Amelie's shadow self in the ghost train. There's no one around. It's just her. She's completely absorbed in the world, and it's all sexual and sensual. And I sort of like, I wouldn't say I was taken aback or anything like that, but I was mainly surprised about how I didn't realise that when I was like 15 or 16 when I watched this film.
No, but yeah, you probably looked at, like you said, at that age. God, I was so innocent at that age. It was all about football and things. I don't know why.
Yeah, it was like football and the in-betweeners and stuff.
But the funny thing is, all the girls at my age, they were all wanting sex at that age. It's crazy, isn't it? How different women are compared to guys.
Yeah, well, this is a really interesting sort of look at the female psyche, where she basically, the guy wants his fucking photos back, and she makes him go on this ridiculous romanticized quest to do it, and it all becomes about like sex and romance and stuff like that. And it's, you know, having been in a few relationships and stuff, you begin to recognize like that this is something that I've sort of seen before and dealt with before.
I think this is where like I Am Titanium is probably watching it and thinking, for God's sake, this is silly.
Yeah, he's just saying still waffling.
Yeah.
We're talking about sex, Bilal. Right here, Bilal, are you here for a couple of minutes? I'd like to ask you a question. And if you could answer quickly, that would be nice. I want to ask. I'll tell you what. I'll just ask it, and if you reply, you reply. When she goes on the ghost train, and he's dressed up as like a scare. He's dressed up as like the Scream monster or something, and he's stroking her and going ooh in her ears and stuff. Did you see that as overtly sexual? Like, that is the only possible interpretation of it. And that it's kind of like, no pun intended, but the sort of climax of her development in Act 1 and Act 2 is leading to this sort of like, even though it's not real, it's the most intimate that she's been with anyone ever. And she's kind of welcomed it.
Which is crazy because the guy that she's with in that scene in the montage at the beginning, he must have been pretty whack. Right?
I love that that's where you go. I love where you're like, God, his performance isn't rubbish. You're completely correct. When you're looking at Audrey Tattoo, you should be thinking about how well the guy is performing. I couldn't agree more.
I'm sorry, it was so funny, that scene though. She's just friggin'.
I love it. I'm going to watch that Fleabag scene again because it is, honestly, I'll send it to you. It's one of the most mental things I've ever seen. And Amélie, right, good lad, Bilal. Yes. Yeah, because Bilal, I didn't get that when I was younger, and it's just so obvious now. And it's like, it just sort of shows how, bye.
See you later, mate. Take care, mate. See you in a bit.
Yeah. I'll put we'll put the link to the next film in the comments, so you don't have to go looking for it. It's one of Tyrone's films, and it is not something that I would have ever considered watching, to be honest. It's got a rapper in it, and not a very good.
Not the best rapper, but his performance is going to blow your mind. It's great.
I hope so. Do you remember that song he did? I think it's called Hey Ma, and he says something like, all women want is someone polite and vulnerable like me, but I also bang them really well. It's one of the best. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I want to find the lyrics for when we talk about that.
It's so funny.
Cracks you. I am actually quite looking forward to seeing this film. I hope it's really good. But so and then you've also got Amélie like cosplaying as Zorro, and doing the mark of like you've got to really getting deep into these very sexualized fantasies.
Who's the rapper? Oh, Cameron. It's Cameron Bilal.
Yeah, just tell him what the film is called.
So, Bilal, the film that we're going to do next week is called Paid in Full. I'm not sure if you've seen it, but it's called Paid in Full, based on a true story. Set
Can you
in,
give us like a 1 or 2 line summary of it, like a setup?
um, it's based upon the real life of drug dealer Rich Porter in Harlem, set in the 1980s. And
Is it
these
him on
guys,
the come up?
kind of, yeah. Basically, these guys are coming up, and they made
Yeah.
a ridiculous amount of money back in the 90s. Basically, and that's all I'll say about it.
I like those stories where it starts off with them just like in a shed or something, and then at the end, you know, they're the kings of New York.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good.
And then they
good
get
film.
caught because of their hubris.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like those films, like sort of Pablo Escobar type stuff. Like, what's that one with Denzel Washington where he shoots Idris Elba in the head?
American Gangster, based on Frank Lucas.
Yes, I liked American Gangster a lot.
Well, that's set in Harlem as well. That's before their time, so that's more 70s. But he made a ridiculous amount of money as well. Again,
Yeah, and I think
Harlem,
it's true that he got done because of a coat.
Yeah,
Like,
it was. He went to who was
Tyson?
the boxer? No, not Tyson. He went to I think it was a Sugar Ray Robinson fight or a Floyd Patterson fight. He went there and he wore.
Oh,
this,
it's that early, is it?
Yeah, he wore this really ridiculously expensive coat, and basically
his wife got it for him.
Yeah,
and he wore it to make her happy, and it's how he gets on the radar.
Yeah, and she was Miss Puerto Rico at the time.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Muy caliente.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so with Amélie, let's get on to the final act, because this bit, so where Amélie is doing all her bullshit is where I feel the film kind of falls down a bit, you know, where she's basically sending him on this kind of fairy tale quest with painted signs and like mimes pointing at things, and she's dressed like who's she dressed like? Is it Audrey Hepburn?
Well, yeah, I think I was kind of thinking, wow, this is 2 hours. Kind of, come on, guys, let's get it on.
It's just a girl fucking about, and I've been through this so many times that it was watching it was reminding me of like ridiculous missions that I had to do when I was younger. Even, you know, with the current Miss Bathtime. And it's so true to life though, the hoops that you have to jump through.
But they want to see how badly you want them, don't they? They want to see that you're willing to work with them.
Yeah, but for Amélie, it's in some ways it's also kind of different, where it's like it's her keeping him at a distance.
Yeah,
she's not quite ready to commit, and I really like it when we get into the sort of like the darker part of the film, you know, where things aren't so good for her. Where
there's a fear of rejection, isn't there?
Yes, yeah,
that's what it is. She doesn't want to be rejected, I think.
Yeah, well, of course.
Well, like, daddy issues.
Yes, all the typical like girl stuff. To be honest, like the Electra complex, I suppose. But I really like it then, where her new dad, Mr. Glass, basically calls her a coward.
I love that scene. Yeah, it's like, just get on with it.
Yeah, he's saying that she's cowardly, and I love that in films where it's not like it's a truth, but it's something that it feels earned and things, and it really reminded me of The Life of Pi, where I was looking at him thinking, you are a coward, and I liked that Amélie is kind of judged by the same standards. You know, that it's not just going to come and get you. You've got to be proactive. Like, you've got to get out, front foot, press, make contact as the ball's played into your man. Like, stuff like that. I like the fact that it's, you know, you've got to go and do it yourself. I love that in films.
Well, he said you're going to be old like me one day, and you're not going to get a second chance, which is a really good
good
line.
Once again, that's that idea of him and Mrs. Letters being warnings. Of what will happen to her. And, you know, and she's also playing games with him. Like, I have to say, there's a bit I might actually write this down afterwards. Where do you remember she makes video for him?
Mm.
The bit with the dog in the silent film is incredible. Do you know the bit I'm talking about?
No, you have to remind me.
So she sends him, I think, a horse on the Tour de France,
Mm.
like, and it's just running with the riders. There's just like a horse. I imagine it's very famous in France. But before that, she sends him a snippet of a black and white film, and it's a dog doing a stunt, which is basically just running over a man who's falling backwards. It's one of the most incredible things I've ever seen.
Mm.
And I'm gonna find that silent film and watch it. Don't worry, I'm not gonna make you watch it. I've watched Charlie Chaplin's The Gold Rush recently, and I don't think I can do it to you. But we will be watching Captain Blood at some point. 1939, Errol Flynn, Basil Rathbone. Wait till you see it. Basil Rathbone, right, was the British fencing champion, and the sword fighting in Captain Blood is better than any sword fight you'll find.
Better than Troy.
Better than Troy.
Mm.
And Troy is pretty wicked.
But you know what? That's the thing. I think that's one of the things that let Game of Thrones down. There wasn't enough sword fighting. As good as it was, it needed more sword fighting.
I remember, like, as I said, I haven't read the books, but I remember when I finally got to see Barris and Selmy sword fight. I was like, let's go. And then he dies. And I was like, ugh. And then there's a bit where, is it Arthur Dane fights a young Ned Stark, and he's got two swords, and it's just really stupid.
Yeah.
Like, he's fighting 6 people at the same time or something. Yeah, and it's just, like, if it was, like, you know, a recreation from, like, Boromir, Sean Bean's, like, memory, then fair enough, because, you know, memories in films and TV, I think, should be a little bit embellished.
I'm really worried about the Odyssey film with Christopher Nolan, because I don't know if they're going to nail it. They might.
I don't think they are, because
if they, I mean, why can't they just do what Mel Gibson does and just go with the original language? Why can't they just do that? Why do all these films have to have like American speaking characters? It really
it's for money. For one thing.
I understand that, but it just kills the illusion of being in that time period. It's really
look. I'll tell you something about Mel Gibson. Do you know where Mel Gibson was born?
No, I'm not sure.
He was born in America, not in Australia. And he moved as a very, very young child because his dad, because at the time, the Pope said it was okay to give Mass in English. And his dad moved him to the one place, Australia, where they still gave Mass in Latin.
Okay.
And so I think that plays quite a big role in why, you know, things like Apocalypto are in whatever the language is. And I haven't seen The Passion of the Christ. We're going to watch it, but I assume that is in some version of Aramaic.
It's an incredible film, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, but it's got to be an Easter film.
It has to be, yeah. It's a tough watch, though.
Yeah, but look, we'll do religious Easter. We'll put Ben-Hur on and things like that and things. Well, I quite like because I'm really looking forward to War.
Are you down to watch an animated film, or does it have to all be? Have you seen Prince of Egypt?
No.
Oh, it's an incredible film.
Yeah, we can do Prince of Egypt, no problems. Like, remember, this is about, you know, this is a film club, and a lot of it is like you're going to be exposed to films from the 1930s and 50s at some point. You've been exposed to the Seven Samurai. I'm absolutely fine to watch anime, like animated films, things that I would never watch paid in full. I'm going to be honest with you. If I see a rapper in a film and it's not Eminem in what has to be genuinely one of the most shockingly impressive debuts ever in 8 Mile. Unbelievable how good he is in that film.
Well, the guy in 8 Mile who plays
Mekhi Phifer.
He's in Paid in Full as well, so yeah.
He's very good. I think is Captain America like Clarence in 8 Mile?
He is, yeah. Clarence, yeah.
Yeah. Pick up Clarence at his private school.
Yeah, a good. I really love that film. You know, I thought it was a good film.
Well, 8 Mile.
Yeah, it was good.
It's really good. The only thing I'd say about it is I think Busta Rhymes is in it, and I think he wins his rap battle with Eminem.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I love the bit where he's just taking the piss out of everybody, and then Eminem comes and just tries to beat him.
Yeah. Well, it's just what's so cool about it is the turn, the fact that everything. I'm going to say I'm going to take all of your ammunition away. Cheddar Bob does shoot himself in the foot or whatever. Like it's so well done. And
Cheddar Bob.
Cheddar Bob.
Yeah.
It's just they did fuck my girl. It's just it's really really good. It was because it was like watching Rocky or something. Like
the guy
amazing.
There's a guy in it. The big guy's in Sinners as well. The big black guy, the really big one.
Oh, the guy's playing Bizarre.
Yeah, he's in Sinners. Yeah.
I remember. Do you remember when I announced Pitbull had joined the Real Talk podcast? I was going to announce that me, you, and Pitbull were going to join D12.
Like, I was going to ask if you met Pitbull.
No, I loved it. Pitbull's one of my favourite people in the world. He's so funny.
Yeah.
I find him hilarious. Damn it. But yeah, like rappers in films. What was that? We've got to talk about Amélie.
I love the bit where she opens the door and he's finally there and she pulls him in. And it's like she's kind of taking ownership now because she's pointing to herself where she wants him to kiss her. And I'm like, wow, talk about wearing the trousers, love.
Yeah, but that's where she's integrated all the parts that she needs to. She's like, she's had this kind of like reckoning with her father figure, with Mr. Glass.
Yeah.
She's kind of sorted her mother out in Mrs. Letters. She's also sort of seen the bad stuff in a relationship with Mr. Psycho and Mrs. Hypochondriac. She's sorted her dad out as well and seen that he's able to make steps to kind of, reconcile his past. And now it's about her future. And she's like, she's basically stopped being a child and has actually become a woman. And there's this really nice scene where do you remember the philosopher dude? He said something like, at the end of the day, every woman wants to sleep on a man's shoulders.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that bit.
Mr. Amélie is sleeping on Amélie's shoulders.
That's a nice scene.
Yeah, and it's intimate, and she's basically become a woman. She's like, she's got a relationship. She's having meaningful sex. She's on the path to be like, and I do feel bad about saying this, but we do say this about men as well. Like when we talk about the hero's journey, about how you have to split from your father and sort of maybe end up embodying that role yourself. But that's the kind of female journey, is you have to split from your parents and become become sexual and have a relationship. And like the fact she needs to split from her father for it to happen is what is so cool about this, because she does it with both of them. Like her new dad with the immigrant shuts the curtains on them. Like he's no longer her child. She's fully grown woman. Like and her dad also leaves to go off on his own adventures. She's by herself now. She's an adult in the real world and she's out banging men.
I think
really cool. It's really cool to see it from a sort of female perspective, I think.
Yeah, and I think it's just, for me, it's just the little ways that it's filmed. Like when she's kind of leaning on the door, and then it pans right from her, and on the other side, he's on the other side, facing the same way, like a mirror. Brilliant. Yeah. All these little techniques just made the film so much more watchable, and it's quite a colourful film as well, isn't it? Like, so many bright colours and.
I know. I wish we. It reminds me of like video games, where in like the
Mm,
mid 2000s, everyone just decided everything was going to be grey or brown,
yeah.
or like if it's in a hot country, it's got a particular filter on.
Mm,
Like if it's in Mexico, it's got a yellow filter. If it's in Russia, it's got a blue filter. And so
mm,
when you see a film that has got joie de vivre, like has got joy in it, and there's sex everywhere, and
mm.
there's people kind of like coming back to life, as it were. It's really it's lovely. Like it's a really well made film. I still don't know if I'd call it a masterpiece.
What, Amelie?
Yeah, like one of the best films ever made. I think it's just one level below that.
Gosh, man, your barometer for a top film is so high.
Do you mean my barometer?
Your barometer, yeah.
My barometer?
Your barometer, your
I know I'm from
yeah.
the countryside, but we don't measure things in wheelbarrows.
No,
as much as we want to.
yeah.
They make us use the metric system.
Yeah, it's really tough. Like for someone to kind of create a masterpiece for you, it's got to be out of this world, I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, on the list is Cinema Paradiso, which I think is a masterpiece. Which is like it's like a cross between Amélie and Life is Beautiful.
Okay.
But there are some films. I think Seven Samurai is a masterpiece.
I think this is better than Life is Beautiful, in my opinion.
I think it is as well. I think Life is Beautiful is a bit too saccharine.
Yeah, but that won an Oscar though.
Yeah, but I mean, what's that mean?
Yeah,
like David Ginola won Player of the Year when we did the treble.
A lot of people don't judge films of being great when it's an Oscar. It's when they find their audience.
Well, I am fucking livid at the amount of Oscar nominations Sinners has got.
I don't understand.
Unbelievable.
No, it's not that. I don't understand how Jack O'Connell's not on the list. It's absolutely criminal.
It's by far the best performance in Sinners is Jack O'Connell.
We'll talk about it after, but I'm not going to say it on here why I think it's done so, but it's obvious why. But we'll talk.
Well, you think it's some sort of like, is it DEI? You think it's pandering?
Yeah.
I kind of agree, to be honest. Like, but the Oscars have always done that. Like, it's always been like, look how like virtuous we are and things like that. Unless it's E.T. winning over Gandhi or something like that. But yeah, I think that's a lot of what it is, because Sinners is a deeply unpopular film in Hollywood because of the deal that Ryan Coogler made, to retain the rights and all that kind of stuff.
I just think a film, if it's going to get an award, it should be on merit, not because it's got to fill some kind of like metric or quota.
Yeah, it's patronising. To be honest,
of course it is.
Yeah, like I do agree with you on that. It's like, I think that we get patronised as well, Britain, at these awards. Like they'll give us like a Best Picture nomination for The Full Monty or something, and everyone should be clapped on the back that a British film is there, as if we didn't make some of the best films ever and produce the best actors and things. It's just I've never been one for these awards and stuff. They're never. It's never a meritocracy. It's about a bunch of people trying to feel better about themselves.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I don't really take them. I think me and you disagree on Amélie, because for me it's up there with some of the best films.
Do you think it's a masterpiece?
For the way it's been filmed, yeah, it's a beautiful film to watch.
I mean,
it's pure art from start to finish. Sorry to interrupt. Just pure art.
If a masterpiece is 10 out of 10, I think Amélie is nearer 9 than it is 10. Like, and I don't think a film needs to be perfect to be 10 out of 10. But something like The Shawshank Redemption, I think, is a genuine masterpiece.
Yeah, now Shawshank is 10 out of 10. For me, I'll put Amélie 9 out of 10 for me.
That's what I mean. It's just it's one rung below a masterpiece. And to be honest, if I could speak French, maybe it would be a masterpiece. You've got to remember that you're reading a lot of it.
That's the thing, yeah.
I mean, I know that you've probably watched more subtitled films in the last 6 months than you have in your entire life.
Yeah.
But there'll be more to come. But it is they're just, there's a lot of subtlety and nuance and line delivery and like turns of phrase that we're not getting.
Well, basically, I watched it twice because the first time I watched it like reading all the subtitles properly. And then
Right.
the second time I watched it, I paid more attention to the actors' faces and stuff to kind of, because I wanted to look at the acting a bit more. So
Have you
that's
done
why.
that for any of the others?
Just maybe just this one. Just this.
Do you think that's because you enjoyed it more than the others?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've got to be honest. A couple of times after doing these shows, I've instantly wanted to put the film back on.
Because the thing is, the problem is when you're reading the subtitles, you can see what's going on and read, but you do miss little subtle things that's in the film. So
Yeah.
You have to go back and kind of see what you might have missed.
Well, I'm glad you watched. So you would put this in some of your favourite films ever?
Yeah, especially the end. I love the bit at the end where she's on the scooter with him and they're riding through France. That bit's fantastic.
Isn't that cool though? How it's contrasted with both when she's running around with the blind old man,
Yeah,
and also when she's like off on her initial quest, and it's all scary, and they've kind of melded together where she's experiencing the world afresh with someone that she loves, and it's all nice and things.
There's a bit where they both look at the camera as well together
Yeah.
and give a good smile. That's amazing. That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's good because like Amélie, when you talk about breaking the fourth wall, Amélie is talking to us a lot in this film.
Yeah.
Like the audience. And that's just a nice little way to cap it off, I feel, at the end. That both of them are doing it. Like our girl has found love and she's happy and she's gone on a quest. She's enriched herself, but she's also made the world around her better. Like, the horrible grocer isn't bullying like Mr. Afghan Dan anymore. Afghan Dan has made friends with the painter. The painter is now painting different things. He's finished the thing that he's been stuck on. We see Gerard Depardieu has reconciled with his grandson and his daughter. We see that Mrs. Letters has has got her life is validated because her husband did want her. Her father's traveling. She's fixed the world and she's fixed herself.
Yeah. For me, it's just nice to watch a film where it's a nice love story and it ends in the way it ended. It was just a refreshing film to watch.
Yeah,
I wasn't depressed watching it.
Someone dies.
Yeah, I wasn't depressed watching it, so it's good. It's really good.
I told you I thought you'd like it.
Yeah, enjoyed it.
I remember when you texted me at the start, and I got the feeling that you weren't particularly enjoying the beginning of the film.
Yeah, it's like any film, though, isn't it? It takes a while for you to warm up. I warmed up to this film a lot quicker than I did with Life is Beautiful, because the main actor in that, it took me a while to kind of warm to him. I found him annoying at first, but yeah, it was good.
Yeah, Life is Beautiful is more of a farce. This is like absurdist. I think you can see that there's a particular style that I like in film.
Yeah,
like a sort of a heightened reality.
Yeah, but the thing is, I understand why though. Because I think you watch films for the escapism more, whereas sometimes I'll watch stuff that's more gritty and more realistic. I think we watch different types of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, gritty and realistic, I don't mind at all. I know that this might sound a bit stupid, but Lord of the Rings, the films, are far more gritty and realistic than you would think. They started this trend of. Do you remember how things like Batman and Robin just used to be absolutely absurd? And then you look now at things like the Dark Knight trilogy and how how they tried to base everything in reality.
Look how I remember the Batman Robin, Alicia Silverstone was in it, Uma Thurman was in it. Yeah, it was pure rubbish.
You had freeze
kid,
rays,
it was crap.
They had the Bat card and things like that.
Yeah.
But all of that turn to realism came from Lord of the Rings, because it wasn't like fluorescent green orcs and magic and stuff. They tried to make it real and gritty. So I think there's a place for real and gritty. I think war films have to be like that. But I love imagination and absurdity and stupidity. Like I love things that are just completely ridiculous, but they know they're ridiculous. Like spectacle and wonder, as it were. So I've got nothing against like gritty stuff. Like, as I say, my favourite TV programme is The Wire, which is the most gritty, realistic, mundane thing you'll ever see.
And Sopranos.
Yeah, I mean, look, The Sopranos is a lot more cartoony than The Wire. Like, do you remember where Paulie goes and starts threatening ghosts?
Yeah.
Yeah, like there's quite a lot of absurdity, and also there's a lot of dream sequences and like fantasies and things. But I mean, I watched Scarface after I watched The Sopranos and The Wire, and it was just stupid.
Yeah, when you look back at Scarface now, it's aged really badly, hasn't it?
Oh, I've only seen it after like we saw the sort of hyper realism of The Wire, but also when you see The Sopranos, it's like it's very similar to working in like a big bank. Like how it's very difficult to get promoted. People are always stepping on you. Yeah. There's no career path in the mafia. You've got to wait for someone to die before you move up. And in Scarface, he's like, he just takes over Miami in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's a bit silly. It's so far-fetched.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, I'm trying to think of if there's any like really gritty films like on my list. The one
you've seen Legend. I really enjoyed that.
What, with Tim Curry?
Oh no, Legend is about the Cray twins.
The Cray twins. Yeah, I mean, even that I think is slightly cartoony. It's just generally one of the best acting performances I've seen.
I think the girl who plays his missus in it is really good. The Australian.
Yeah,
I can't remember her name, but she was fantastic.
She's nice as well. Is it Emily Browning?
That's it. She was.
Yeah,
I was blown away.
Else I liked. Yeah, she's really, really good. But Tom Hardy's, I think he's generally one of my favourite actors. Like I watched this thing recently that had Pierce Brosnan in it with him. It's like a crime. It's a gangland thing about an Irish family in London.
Mobland. I'm not a fan of it. I don't like it. Mobland.
I like it. It's got Tom Hardy in it. You didn't like it at all?
I just think I think Pierce Brosnan and is it Helen Mirren? If they weren't in it, if it was two other actors.
Yeah, that's what I think. That's why I liked it, because everyone else is being normal and they're just completely ridiculous. Like they're having. It reminds me of. Have you ever seen Star Wars: Revenge of the Sith?
Yeah.
In that, everyone is playing it quite dramatically. And the Emperor is just having the time of his life, doing the most stupid things ever.
I think that's my favourite one, you know.
What, of all of Star Wars?
Yeah, it's my favourite one because it's the first time he becomes Darth Vader. I like it.
Spoilers. For like a 50-year-old film. I really like The Empire Strikes Back because I think structurally, you know my love of like the hero's journey and things like that. It's one of the most literal interpretations of the hero's journey possible.
And because he basically gets to forgive his dad gets redemption as well. Darth Vader gets that redemption.
Well, I genuinely think one of the best lines in cinema is "I am a father." I am a Jedi like my father before me.
Yeah.
Like your place in the world, you reconciling with like who your father is, splitting from him but acknowledging him. I think it's great. I'm not a massive Star Wars guy, to be honest.
It took me until I become an adult to appreciate Star Wars. I think as a kid I was never that interested. It took me more as I got older to appreciate it more.
Maybe, I mean, they are like children's films. It's like the Lord of the Rings is like, it's quite interesting on the basis that I think it's probably for 16-year-old boys.
But you love it so much, though.
Yeah, but it's because the books in particular, like the films are just great action films. Like that, they're for 18 to 30. If you see Lord of the Rings between the ages of 14 and 30, it's one of the best like sort of heroic action things you'll ever see. Right? But the books are a story for 16-year-olds, but with so much depth and detail to them that they're things that resonate with you, whatever age you are. And I think Star Wars has aspects of that because it deals with fatherhood, grief, loss, your place in the world, and so on. But it's for me, it's just never landed. 'Cause I've always been the Lord of the Rings boy, and what we have as Tolkien fans over things like Star Wars is Tolkien wrote down about 10,000 years of recorded history. Wow. So it doesn't really matter what, Disney or the films do. It's all written down for us. And I feel that Star Wars, because it's film only, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like that's where it is. I think that they can damage it by just bringing out a film that doesn't really understand what it's about and stuff.
Well, all the new ones I'm not interested in, if I'm being honest.
Well, I'd like the idea of having John Boyega, who... Have you seen Attack the Block?
Nah, but I know
that
right,
he's that is going on the list then.
I think I tried to watch it once. I couldn't get into it. I know what film you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean...
a comedy, innit?
It's not as funny as I was hoping, to be honest. It isn't... I wouldn't actually say it's a comedy. Like, it is more genuinely a sort of like a supernatural thriller than it is a comedy. It's obviously got funny moments and there's caricatures in it, but it is like about your neighborhood under threat from something.
I found, what film did I find entertaining? I really found Paul entertaining. The one with Seth Rogen and Simon Pegg.
Yes, I think I've seen it. I've always had a bit of a love-hate thing with Simon Pegg, where I find a lot of, like, the famous films like Shaun of the Dead and stuff like that. I find the small-minded Britishness to them a bit annoying. In like kind of saying like we can't make proper films, but it's done really well. Do you know what I mean? So I've seen Paul's. I thought it was one of those films, but it wasn't.
It was really funny. I loved it, man.
It was all right. I just
no, I didn't mind it.
The one you got to watch is Tropic Thunder. I'd love to see what someone thinks of that in this day and age.
All right, I'll watch it.
No, we'll do it as. Do you know what? Maybe we'll do it after Paid in Full.
I can't believe I haven't seen. I need to watch Inglourious Bastards. I can't believe I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen Inglourious Bastards?
No, I'll have to watch it again.
What do you mean again?
No, I tried to watch it a few weeks ago, and I only watched the opening.
Well, the opening is one of the greatest scenes ever.
Yeah, I haven't been able to watch the whole film yet. I will watch it.
All right, you've got to start watching films in full, Tyrone. You're too TikTok-brained. I don't even have it. I'm scared about what it's going to do to my attention span. All right, should we end it there?
Yeah, it's been really enjoyable, though. I've enjoyed that discussion.
Well, I'm just really pleased that this has become one of your favourite films. That's really cool.
It's about time.
Yeah.
All right.
I agree.
Take it easy, peeps. Thanks for tuning in.